But that's what makes the world go round. The ups and downs, the carousel, changing people's heads around. Go underground, young man. People make the world go round. People make the world go round. People make the world go round. What's up, people? This is Ty. I am here to review season 1, episode 4 of Our Kind of People. And tonight's episode is titled Crabs in a Gold-Plated Barrel. But before I get into this episode, I got to give a shout out to my people. You know who you are, my lovely subscribers who hold me down in the comment section with lovely comments. So shout outs to my subscribers. I'm talking about Lamont Simpson, Amber Stallings, Patricia Longcrier, Tennille Hills, Welcome Whitney Scott, Ramona Heath, Savannah Rivers Amore, Simply Be Yourself 100, Miss Tasha, Jennifer Calhoun, Jay Goodwin, and June BLC. Thank you all for leaving comments and subscribing. And you too can do what? Bam, hit that subscribe button and subscribe. Go right ahead. I do appreciate it. Now let's get down to business. And let me give a shout out again to Amber, because I believe it was Amber who left me a comment in the last review who said, Ty, you forgot to mention the most important part of that episode, of episode 3. And that was when Angela went to go see Nicole's daddy. And you know what, Amber, you were right. But lucky for us, they started tonight's episode off with Angela going to see Nicole's daddy in the prison. And so what did we learn here? We learned that it was her mother who had been sending him pictures of Nicole all this time. And he said, I knew something was up because the pictures stopped coming. So that's how he figured. I figured something was going on. And then they have this exchange when she tells him, it's time for you to be a father, whatever. And he's like, really? Like he's saying, you're the one who stopped it. And she said, well, you're the one that got into this mess. Then he got up and he said something that seemed like a poem to me. He got up and was like, you keep stepping on my neck. He was rhyming. Y'all caught that? You keep stepping on my neck. Basically, the world is beating me up. And now here you come with the same thing. You're beating me up. And as they were going back and forth, he was saying what he was saying. Then the guards were like, hey, sit down. You're doing too much. And they told him to sit down. Then we go into the next scene where we see one of Angela's friends from around the way, played by actor Alex Newell, who I recognize from a show that me and the family watch, or used to watch, called Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Very funny show. I don't think it comes on anymore. I think it got canceled, something like that. But Alex Newell is playing a friend who knew her from the hood and is so happy because, she's about to have this big debut, launching this product, and he's so proud of her. She's so proud of her and all these good things. And they're just ready to celebrate, and they're going to be the hostess or whatever. And I thought those scenes were really funny, especially when Alex's character says to her, how does it feel to be a Benjamin and all that? She said, listen, that is not my family. He's like, listen, I remember back when when we were younger, and you would get all upset, just telling all the business. You would get all upset on Father's Day because you didn't know who your daddy is. And now you find out your daddy is Teddy Franklin. So I thought all of that was funny right there. And so, speaking of Teddy Franklin, Teddy is trying to buy this stadium and buy this team and name the stadium after his brother. And we see him at the golf course, and he's talking to, looks like basketball players. And I recognize that actor as well. I don't know his name, but that actor, the tall one, is from Issa Rae's show. He was on Issa Rae's show, I should say, Insecure. And they're having this conversation, and Teddy basically tells him, I'm not going to be that type of owner. It's not going to be like slave master, this and that. Matter of fact, I don't even like all that owner stuff. You're not going to, and I'm not going to hinder your blackness. You'll be allowed to be you. That's what he's telling the person. So he's like, and this is going to be great, especially with me naming this after my brother. This is going to be awesome. So that's what Teddy's hopes are. But he got a little bit of problem. This little daughter of his, because when he was on the golf course, some other haters came up to him and they mentioned his little indiscretions. And, you got this love child and this, that, and the third. They throwing hate or whatever. And he said some things back. Then he calls Leah and he's like, Leah, you got to fix this because this mess is hurting this PR mess is hurting me because I'm trying to buy this stadium successfully. And this whole thing about me looking like she's the poor girl and I'm the deadbeat daddy. But you are, Mr. Franklin. You are the deadbeat daddy. But you see how people don't like to be accountable. You see how they don't like to hold themselves accountable. He's upset. Like, you got to fix this. And he says something like, you can take care of these bougie girls up here, but you can't take care of this hood rat from Roxbury. That's basically what he was saying. You can't handle a Roxbury chick. Very, very bougie, very stuck up, very snotty thing to say. Again, no accountability on his part, as if all of this is not his creation. You created the mess that you're in. I can't stand when people don't take accountability at all. Meanwhile, while he's saying that to her, she hangs up from him, and we learn that she's in looks like a marriage counseling session in the middle of a session with her husband, Raymond. And she answers the phone for her father, and Raymond's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. We're having this session, and the thing I'm complaining about, your father, she has to answer the phone for him. And he was so annoyed with that, and I could relate because you know what, I'm about to tell my business. Nope, ain't gonna do that. This ain't about me. But let's just say I could relate to that person being too involved. And yeah, let's just leave it at that. So basically, I kind of felt him on that. Like, listen, this is messing up our marriage, sweetheart. You got to choose me or him, something. And, it's kind of hard for her because she's very close to her father. And, she's very close to her father. So that's going to be hard for her. All right, let's move on to this, at the boardroom. It's Angela, it's Leah, it's the other people in the incubator program, and it's Raymond. And Angela introduces herself, and then y'all catch how one of the other ladies got real shady and said, "Oh, it must be nice being related to the Franklins." And I loved how Raymond checked her and was like, "Hold on. It's also nice to have your aunt call and make a few phone calls so you could be here. So please don't throw stones." I really like that. I love when you check people. People be trying to be slick and you got to check them and put them in a place. So shout outs to Raymond for doing that. Okay. So, but at this thing, Angela's all excited. We're about to launch my launch. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And so here comes Leah with, "Oh, great. You have to catch up. We need your pitch and your proposal, and I need that by the end of the week." And so what's the name was like, Angela's like, "Well, Leah, I have my debut this week." She says, "Great. You invited us all there. You can do it there." So see, that's the shady stuff right there. She's like, "Really? You really playing, right?" But Angela does come up with an idea. She says, "Why don't I get these little girls here and let's do a confessional, and they could talk about, their issues with their hair and things like that." And I thought that I liked that part of them giving those testimonials, I should say, about their hair and how they were prejudged and how it made them feel and this, that, and the third. And so when Leah gets wind of this, she comes storming back into the conference room, and she's like, "What is this? What are you doing here?" And they have this conversation, and Angela basically says, "Listen, I'm trying to get my bag too," or something of that nature. And when she does that, sneaky Leah recorded it, had one of the minions record it, and made it look like Angela is all about the money and not about the people in the hair. And she says something like, "Well, I thought you cared about the people and all of this other stuff. I thought you cared about the people and the black women and this, that, and the third. But you're all about the money." And what does she do? She takes this, loads it on social media, and now this creates some backlash for Angela. And now this is not looking good. Angela's like, "Oh, come on. This is the last thing I need." So you see people like, "Oh, I thought she was for the people. Wow, she's really about the money, this, that, and the third." So it kind of hurt her. And that wasn't looking good. And on top of that, Angela has to deal with her daughter also saying she does not want to be the face of Eve's crown. So it's a lot going on there. So we have the scene, which I did enjoy, which was a scene of Angela confronting Leah and saying, "Why did you do that? Why would you tear me down like that?" She says, "There's room for both of us." And she said, "Listen, if I was in your position and had this kind of money, I would never do this. I would continue to lift people up. I would not be tearing people down." And she says, that it's just, we can both coexist. Leah shoots back. "Your mother broke up my family. What your mother did with my father," and like he's got something to do with this, but what your mother did with my father in creating you severely damaged my already fragile mother. So, you sullied my family's name." I'm like, here we go with she sullied. She's just a product of what happened. How did she sully your family's name? That would be on your father. That's who takes the blame for that. But you know how these people do. They like that. And she says, "I'm not mad at you." That's what she says that's what Leah says to Angela. "I'm not mad at you. I'm ashamed of you." I was like, damn. That was like, wow. I was like, whoa, that was crazy right there. She said, "I'm ashamed of you." I didn't like that. You're ashamed of her. I don't know. That was crazy. We also saw in tonight's episode Angela having a conversation with Tariq and explaining to him that she didn't know how to tell him that Teddy was her father. And he's like, "Yeah, it's okay." And did y'all catch that he is taking the cameras out? He said something about there being a malfunction, a recall in the cameras. He's taking those cameras out. Those are the same cameras that he put in for Teddy Franklin. But he's really he likes Angela. And he even said to Leah, "I don't understand this whole thing with what you and her, why y'all after her. Are you afraid? Are you afraid and jealous of having a sister and sharing the spotlight? Is that what it is?" And she's like, "You seem to be on her team. What team are you on?" And all this other stuff. So it looks like Tariq might be coming around. I don't know. Wasn't feeling their relationship. I'm like, I don't know about this. But I kind of like how he kind of been sticking up for her. So I thought that was pretty cool. What else happened? We saw Raymond in this episode trying to get some businesses off the ground, trying to make some deals. And then when he made a phone call, he was unable to access certain records. And we know that's why, because he don't got the power. He don't got the power. I know that ain't right, good English, but he ain't got the power because Teddy done blocked something so he don't have access to that stuff. And that pissed him off. And we seen him ask his wife about that as well. Now let's fast forward. It is time. Let's go on. No, let's start here. Let's talk about Taylor and Nicole. They're getting along quite well. And did you catch that almost kiss that they had? And then in walks her cousin, and her cousin is like speaking to Taylor and telling Taylor she wants to make their relationship public, and she's sorry and thank you for dropping the charges, and let's get back together. So they're supposed to be getting back together and all that good stuff. Now let's move on to the Eve's Crown event. Now, because of the because of the backlash from the social media, the event is not popping like she thought it was going to be popping. She's telling Auntie, Angela's telling Auntie, look at this place. Look at this. It's empty. She's like, all this hard work, ain't nobody here because this girl in sabotage, this word, this is backfired, has hurt me. She's upset. I felt her pain a little bit. Here I go making it about me. I've been at events that I've thrown, and it was like 5 people I had to sing at events, talent shows or shows I put together, I had to sing at, and I did all this work, and then when I got there, it was 5 people there. But the show must go on, right? So show goes on. And so her auntie told her, she said, listen, get up there and show these people who you are. It doesn't matter what happened. Get up here, do what you do, give your gift of gab. We're going to go live. She went live. And I loved what she had to say. I loved it. She was saying she comes from humble beginnings. She started her business out of her mother's kitchen and making her hair products in the sink, this, that, and the third. And she said, you know what? This is a lot. My answer to this thing is this is a lot for myself and it's a lot for my sister. So if y'all came here for gossip and tea and all that foolishness, you came to the wrong place because that's not what I'm giving. So she took the high road. She didn't bash her sister or the Franklin. She said, we're trying to figure this thing out. That's what we're trying to do. So you're not going to get no dirt and all this other stuff. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure this out. Meanwhile, the party is not popping like she wanted it to be. The event is not popping. But that was a great thing that she said. Meanwhile, Auntie has the friend. She said, work your magic or whatever. And the friend also talks to Nikki and says, listen, we got to help turn this thing around. And, they have that conversation. And bam, out come all these dancers. What are they, drag queens or whatever? I don't want to title people, but I believe those are drag queens or whatever. Came out dancing and doing what they do and getting the party hyped up and turning it up. And out walks Nikki Nicole, and she embraces it. Now she decides, yes, I will be the face of Eve's Crown. And I thought that was great. She had the hair and that real cool hairstyle, and that was pretty cool. Well, what was getting to me? Why was Leah there smiling and having a good time? You tried to sabotage it. Now you want to be in here having a good time. That really pissed me off. But, I did like that situation. I liked how they turned that situation. Like I said, the party's a big hit. The debut is a big hit. It was lovely. This opening night turns out great. Nicole is now agreed to be the face. And then here comes Taylor again. She's so proud of her. This, that, and the third. And they kiss. And I'm like, okay, are we going to have a love triangle? The cousin's going to be fighting over this Taylor girl? Is that what we're going to have here? Well, I guess so. Back to Teddy Franklin and his stuff. He's trying to get, like I said, he's trying to get this stadium. And we saw in this episode, earlier in this episode, where the white folks basically told him, they were tap dancing around at first. Then they told him, oh, no, we're not going to go through this with this deal with you. We're going to find another person because you want to name this stadium after a Black Panther. And that Black Panther happens to be Teddy's brother. And so they get into a few words. And I love that scene. And I really love this scene when they did a follow-up scene with Teddy and Leah had a meeting with the guy. He tells me, he says, oh, you were trying to get a deal over here with the food distribution and all that. But guess what? My company, Darman Foods, which was actually the company that he took over from Raymond, we have that now. So in your stadium, you're going to always see my name on your cups. My name's in the skybox, on your forks, all of that good stuff. And I'm going to make a competing team in the same stadium. Just really rubbed it off and rubbed it to him. And I like that. I thought that was excellent right there. I thought good move, clever move, sharp move. Now, another thing in this episode that got me. When Leah went to call Raymond And Raymond tells her he was in New York on business. And she's like, well, blah, blah, click. Hung up on her with the quickness. After he hung up on her, we find out he is in New York, but it's on a different kind of business. And this is business to destroy Teddy Franklin. And who's he up there with? His ex-wife. And he's like, listen, I came to you because I need you to help me. And you're the best financial reporter I know. You got to get me some dirt on him. And she's like, well, what do your wife think about this? He said, she ain't got to know about this. He said, but I need you to get some dirt because I have to destroy Teddy Franklin. If that's the last thing I'm going to do is destroy him. So really, really good episode. Those are the things that caught my attention in tonight's episode. I enjoyed it. We're going to see what's going to happen next week. I still want to know, and they didn't touch on this in tonight's episode, I still want to know what the aunt's dealings with Teddy Franklin are. I still want to know about that. But we'll have to wait and see. I really enjoyed this episode. You guys tell me what you thought. And feel free, if I missed something down, leave it down in the comment section. Tell me if I missed something in tonight's episode that caught your eye. Tell me about it. Tell me what you liked about this episode or what you didn't like. That's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.